All right, so today we're going to be eating some meat-free meat. And to be honest, I don't know how this is going to go at all. I know for a fact that this is going to go a lot shorter than our last video, because that was almost an hour long, and I can't see this being anywhere near an hour long, because I'm not going to make these on camera. I'm going to just have a look at them, and then, cook them off camera and see how they taste. And, we've got two different types of meat-free meat here. We've got meat-free steaks and meat-free bacon. I think I'm most looking forward to the meat-free steaks, just because I'm a fan of steaks, but who isn't a fan of bacon as well? But here's the thing. So I have known several vegans in my life. Oh, Lyndon's here too, by the way.
Hello.
I'm not just sitting here talking to myself, but I have known several vegans in my life, and I'd say there's about three different types of, more so vegetarians. I've known a couple of vegans, more so vegetarians. And for the most part, vegans and vegetarians don't like the taste of artificial meat. Like, it's just not something that they're into. Have you found that to be the same, Linden?
I think it depends what sort of vegetarian you are.
Yeah.
So, doing it for health reasons, then I find like a lot of vegetarians are quite happy with meat alternatives.
That's what I was going to say too. Yeah, you do find people who were formerly meat eaters just, will happily eat like something like this, like a meat-free steak, which, by the way, I've never heard of a meat-free steak before, but I have heard of meat-free bacon before. I think we've all seen that episode of Breaking Bad. But what was that, veggie bacon? Yeah, whatever it was. But most of the vegetarians/vegans I know are vegan because they don't like the taste of meat. So these sort of like meat sort of imitation products wouldn't be something that they typically go for. But the reason I'm here today, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not even a vegan. I feel like I said that round the wrong way. But I want to know how much like meat these actually taste, because I have tried a lot of imitation meat in my lifetime, but I've never actually had any that taste like meat. Now, mind you, I want to do a whole separate video on like vegan/vegetarian chicken nuggets. That's something that's been on my mind for weeks now. I have had vegan/vegetarian chicken nuggets that taste a little bit like chicken, but not that much. Like, not to the point where I'd actually swap out chicken nuggets for like the vegan/vegetarian alternative. So that's the real test today. How much do these two things taste like the real thing? I think I've had, a million steaks in my lifetime. I think I've had 1,000,001 pieces of bacon. So I'm super keen to find out. Anyway, let's look at the packaging and see what we can see. So
I want you to meet the meat.
So I don't know what the brand is. Sorry about the camera shadow here, but just deal with it. The light's directly above my head. Is the brand name Made with Plants? I guess we'll find out from the back. But obviously, okay, so we've got Made with Plants, vegan, meat-free steaks. And we've got a little story over here too. So have your steak and eat it too. I'm going to try that again. Love the satisfying flavors of traditional steak, but are trying to eat less meat? We've got you covered. Made with Plant Steak, well, there you go, that's the brand, offers the succulent taste of premium steak complete with decadent marbling. Very interesting to see what that turns out like. It's tender, juicy, and 100% plant-based. It's apparently high in protein and a source of dietary fiber. Now, interestingly enough, I did notice that it only has a 4-star health rating, so I don't know how many stars like regular steak would have health-wise, but maybe it's the same, maybe it's less. So this could be healthier, but if it was 5 stars,
it's just compared to other meat alternatives.
Well, I guess so. Anyway, let's look at the back of the box as well, because there's more going on there. I actually kind of want to know what's in it too.
Oh, do you think there's what's that, a radish? Is it going to be full of radishes?
Perhaps. Well, we can see the ingredients here. So we've got mushrooms, onion, celery, tomato paste, concentrated tomatoes, 99%, salt, tofu, water, canola oil, margarine, stock powder, gravy powder, colour, concentrated yeast extract, barley and wheat, gluten-free flour, beetroot powder, brown sugar, flavour enhancer, thickeners, and what's that? Mushroom powder, paprika, flavour, thyme, rosemary, hickory smoke liquid, preservatives. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in this. I'm just used to steak having one ingredient, steak, maybe a little bit of fat. But we've got another little story over here too. Enjoying quality plant-based protein is now a piece of steak. I guess a play on piece of cake. But
Nothing gets by you.
yeah. Created with whole food ingredients, this healthful, high-protein vegan steak serves up full-bodied flavour. Made with plant steak is made from Satan? Is that how you say it? It's made from Satan. Satan? I don't know what that word is. I'm not familiar with it at all. Satan. Get behind these, Satan. A low-fat source of plant-based protein. Our creative process is inspired by centuries-old culinary traditions. To make seitan, our chefs take specialized flour, add water, and create dough that can be seasoned and cooked much like traditional meat. We're convinced that the most devoted meat eater, that's me, will appreciate this succulent plant-based steak. Don't take our word for it, though. Try made with plant steak and taste the difference yourself. Well, that's what we're here to do.
I'd like to point out, I like the fat cat silhouette on the side here.
Oh, it does look like a bit like a fat cat, like tilting its head a little bit. We've also got preparation instructions here. Pan fry top and bottom on medium heat for approximately 60 seconds each. Sear sides of steak for around further 90 seconds. Serve with mashed potato and veg, hot chips and gravy, or any of your favourite sides. So it takes less time to cook one of these steaks than it does to cook like a medium rare or a rare steak just by yourself, because I'm sure you wouldn't cook it for like that little time if it was a regular steak. I know I don't, especially given how thick these appear to be.
I have my steak blue, so that's quite a long time to cook it for.
Do you really?
No.
I was going to say, I've never seen you eat a blue steak. Anyway, let's check out the packaging on the meat-free bacon before we dive into these. I'm going to cook, as I said, these off camera, so you don't have to suffer through that whole experience. We're just going to dive straight into the eating experience. So we've got meat-free bacon, mouth-watering streaky bacon that fries and crisp like the original, made with plant-based protein. What have we got in this? A whole bunch of stuff. I'm seeing pea and carrot.
But it left a mystery.
Yeah. Contains wheat, gluten, soybeans. Now, the thing about this this steak here, the thing that kind of worries me is like, they basically say it's like just a dough. So we're essentially like cooking bread in a pan. So that's going to have like a completely different consistency to what meat is like. Unless they're doing something really special. And then the thing that kind of worries me, I don't know if you can really see the colour of this bacon, but it's very orange.
Can you see the bit floating around in it?
Oh, yes. He's going on a little adventure. Let's send him on his way. Whee! Yeah, but so this is not the colour. If I saw bacon, like real bacon, this colour, I'd probably hesitate to eat it because I don't know if the colour correction's going to do anything for this, but it looks very, would you say, orange?
Do you know what it actually looks like?
What does it look like?
It looks more like some sort of spam.
It does look a bit like spam. Yes, it does have that sort of distinctive pinky orange spam colour. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this actually looks when it's cooked. And does it have cooking instructions? Let's have a look. Oh, sorry about the reflection there. Add 2 tablespoons of oil to a pan and fry on medium heat until cooked. That's it. As simple as that. Well, okay. Now, before we cook it, maybe you can give me a hand here, Linda. Can you open this? Who saw that one coming? Can you open this so we can actually get a look at what the...
I just murdered the cat.
I kind of want to see. Okay. Oh. Whoa, we got like 2 filet mignons going on here.
You're a lot more fancy than me. I was going to say rissoles.
Yeah. Wow. Where's the marbling that they mentioned? I thought there would be like, you know how on a steak you see sort of like that white sort of fatty marbling? It's just one solid colour. And by the way, it's very firm. It's a lot firmer than like real meat is, so yeah, but it's got that juice in there that you'd expect from a steak, even though I'm guessing that's like some kind of like beetroot juice or something like that, because it's definitely not blood.
It's not like it's blood in actual steaks though. It's muscle juice.
Well, it's more or less blood, isn't it? I don't know. This is a debate that everyone seems to have. This sort of feels like bacon, I've got to say. But will it taste like bacon? All right. Since I'm more excited for the steaks, that of course means that we're going to start with the bacon first, so we can have the steaks as like the big pièce de résistance. I'm just butchering French here, but then, you know, I'm going to insult the French even further by eating vegan meat. So anyway, let's get into cooking it. And we're back, and the bacon is cooked, I guess. So all it said in the instruction was just cook until I guess, fry until cooked is what it said. But unlike bacon, this doesn't really have any real fat in it. And it doesn't behave the same way that bacon does when it cooks. So we just sort of sat there watching it slowly go a little bit more, I guess, reddy or yellowy in the pan without ever knowing if it's actually cooked or not. Now, because it's not real meat, there's no like risk of salmonella or anything like that. But, you know, it's just hard to tell when it's cooked. Is that going to change the flavor? Who knows? Now, something you pointed out, Lyndon, as we were cooking it, you said that it does smell a little bit like bacon, but...
I think it smells like bacon.
You think it still smells like bacon?
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure it does. I think it smells a little bit like bacon. I think I smelt it when it was raw, and I thought the raw stuff smelt a bit like raw bacon, but cooked, I think this only kind of smells like bacon. It smells more like liquid smoke to me, if you've ever smelt that flavor enhancer at all. Yeah, so... because it doesn't have the fat, I had to add oil to the pan. I picked the two best pieces, but as you can see, they've sort of fallen apart a little bit, and the other ones just sort of fell apart completely, even though I oiled up the pan. So yeah, they don't produce their own fat like bacon does, because Lyndon was actually surprised that I added oil to the pan, but then of course I pointed out, well, regular bacon has its own oil that comes from the fat, where this one doesn't. But anyway, I guess I'm kind of putting it off because now I have to eat it, and I don't really know what to expect, but yeah, let's find out how it tastes. I guess there's nothing else to do but actually give it a try. And, well, it actually sort of falls apart like bacon. You know, if you cut across the grain of bacon, let's see. I think I'm going to have to try another piece. I'm going to have to try another piece because so far thoughts are inconclusive. I tell you what, it does taste very, very slightly of bacon. It's not as crispy as I typically prefer bacon, because I prefer it when it's sort of like dark brown and crunchy. This is never going to go that way because it's not made from the same stuff, but it does, if you sort of like just cook bacon until it's a bit sort of pinky, not quite at the brown stage, it tastes a little bit like that. So, yeah, it's close, but not quite there. And the other thing as well is the texture's a little bit off. Let me just try another piece so I can really describe the texture. Maybe I'll get a bit of this fake fat in there too. I get a slightly crunchier part there, which was interesting. Oh, I think that was better. I don't know what it is. It definitely doesn't have the texture of bacon, but it's a little bit sort of powdery in a way, a little bit sort of cakey. I tell you what, it's not terrible, but I wouldn't go to it over bacon, to be perfectly honest. Lyndon, would you care to try this at all?
All right.
Yeah, just let me take the... Oh, he just grabbed the whole piece and put it in his mouth. He's looking distressed, folks. He's got a distressed look on his face. He did take a big bite too, a lot bigger bites than I took.
I think in small quantities, I think you probably wouldn't notice, but it's not very good. It's like...
Are you saying I was much kinder than you were sounding?
Like, once it's all in your mouth, it does not taste like that.
Well, let me try that then. Oh, it's actually starting to...
I put half of
crispy up a
rasher in my mouth, and the texture, the flavour is like very uncanny. Like you have like hints of bacon, but then you're like, what is the majority of it?
The texture is
very unpleasant.
Is all off. Like it's very sort of... It's not really chewy, but it's very sort of a little bit cakey in a way, would you say? She's going back for more, by the way.
It reminds me of something, the unpleasant flavour. And
by the way, look at how he's holding his own baked bacon. So,
it reminds me of something, and it is the majority of the flavour. Like it is the predominant flavour.
It reminds me of something, but that thing may not necessarily be bacon. Oh well, we can only be up from here because next we're trying the steak.
I was actually fairly like enthusiastic. I thought it was going to be all right. And you were like hesitant. I'm like, why is he so hesitant? How bad can it be? Pretty bad.
Okay. Well, I thought it was all right, but not as good as bacon, obviously. I'll tell you what, the aftertaste is a little bit like bacon.
Aftertaste is okay, but when it's in your mouth and you're eating it,
it's not pleasant.
It's very unpleasant.
Well, let's find out how that steak is. When we come back, we're going to have the steak with us. And here we have our cooked meat-free steaks. Now, they don't exactly look like meat, do they? Now, I did season these with salt and pepper like anybody should with any steak. And I am including meat-free steaks with that with that caveat as well. But I don't know how much of the flavour this is going to change. I mean, they look, and Linden did joke about this off camera, they do look remarkably hockey puckish, if you ask me. They don't really look like a cooked filet mignon. They look more like, as I feared, a little cake that I've just fried up in the frying pan. They definitely look like they have the texture of cake. I'm really hoping that, like, when I put it in my mouth, it's not going to have the texture of cake, because I am, after eating that bacon, I am now really, really worried. What are your thoughts, Linden?
They do look nice as like a bit like a chocolate brownie or something.
Yeah, if you told me that this was some sort of chocolate cake with with salt and pepper on it, I'd be like, oh yeah, that might be interesting. But yeah, I just have no idea what to expect flavor-wise from these. And for some reason, I'm really sort of nervous and disheartened because, yeah, the bacon, while I was more generous than Linden, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect, was it? And I'm not expecting too much from these, even though this is the one that I thought was going to be better. Not seeing a lot of juice from these either. I think I sort of might have dried them out. But anyway, no point putting off the inevitable. I think it's time to try these. We might as well open it up and see what sort of how well done it is cooked. Oh boy, that cuts exactly like a cake. Oh, look, a perfect medium rare Black Forest cake.
Or red velvet.
Oh, red velvet, yeah, exactly. Oh boy, I am not looking forward to trying this. Oh boy, let's see if it's anything remotely like steak at all. Alright, here goes. I hate to say this,
but it's good.
It tastes like smoke-flavoured bread. It tastes exactly like soggy, smoke-flavoured bread. It has the same texture as bread. It has the same consistency as bread. You can probably just tell from... Here, have a look at that. Get in as close as you can. You can see that does not have the consistency of meat at all. That is the consistency of cake or bread. Let me try another piece and I can really try and describe the flavour to you. Oh boy, that's awful. Oh boy, that is really, really awful. Yeah, it literally tastes like if someone... Oh, you know, when maybe you have like a dinner roll. Maybe the dinner roll has sucked up some of the juices from like a steak that you had. And then for shits and giggles, you poured a little bit of liquid smoke on top.
You put your cigarette out.
Yeah, maybe. It's got such a... Oh, it also has a very sort of artificial meat flavour, if you've ever had that. Like, if you've ever eaten dog food, it tastes a little bit like that. Don't ask me why I'm tasting dog food. I think we were all children once. Linden, would you care if you just hand the camera to me? I'd like to get your impressions of it. And I'll get in nice and close. Oh, I see. He's going for his standard method of eating this. His face is in pain again.
That's not bad.
No? Well, you've got almost two whole steaks here that you're more than welcome to.
It is, I don't know. Maybe it's psychological. Mm-hmm. But, like, you're eating it, and there is something uncanny about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's something like... I especially felt this with, like, the bacon. But your body, in a way, sort of going, that's not food.
Yes.
Don't eat that. Maybe because it's made of ingredients that I just haven't had before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've really had tofu in the past.
I don't think it has tofu in it. I know it had a lot of, like...
Oh, maybe that's the bacon.
Yeah. No, I don't... Oh, yeah, I think it might have been the bacon that had tofu in it. Maybe this did, but I can't remember.
But it's not bad. Like, I feel like your seasoning helps a lot.
Yeah, I think that was the best part, the seasoning. He's actually going in for another bite. There we go.
But it doesn't taste like a steak.
It definitely doesn't taste like steak. Has nothing about it is similar to steak at all. Not even how it looks. Like, that's only slightly resembling a filet mignon. But, yes, it does not have the texture. It doesn't even feel, when you touch it, it doesn't even feel like a steak. There's no juice to it at all either.
Do you know what it's sort of like?
What?
It's like, you're like eating, I don't know. I wouldn't say bread, but something like bread.
Yeah.
And someone's come along and rubbed barbecue chips on it.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. It does have that same flavour. Yeah.
And what you're eating feels separate.
Yeah. Like you're right.
It doesn't feel like like when you eat something and chew something, as you chew it, the flavors come out.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. You pop it in, the flavor's there, and as you chew it, the flavors leave.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think maybe that's where the uncanny feeling's coming from.
I guess so. We should talk about how these are priced as well. Now, the bacon that we tried before, was just over $7. And this steak here is just over $10. Now, if you think about it, real bacon is roughly about $7. You probably get more real bacon for the same price than you do fake bacon. And real steak, if you get 2 filet mignons, it's going to be way more expensive than 2 for $10. So I don't know if it's worth the price though, because both of these weren't particularly brilliant. I think I like the bacon definitely better than this steak cake. I definitely like the bacon better, but
I think the steak is better than the bacon.
Would you pay $10 for it though?
No, but I'm just saying, like that is edible.
Yeah.
Where I would not eat any more of the bacon. I could probably finish one of those.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to.
Right.
But I could get through it. Whereas the bacon, I would be like, no more, please.
Yeah. Well, okay, here we go. Here's something I didn't ask last time because you didn't try any of the pop and cookin' candy ramen that we made. But what would you give both out of, let's say, 5? So the bacon I would give 2 out of 5 because at least that was kind of similar to bacon. But this I'm going to give it, maybe a half out of 5 because it's nothing like steak. And I would never eat it again.
Dude, it's funny that you mentioned like ramen. It sort of does taste like that instant beef flavouring.
It does.
Ramen.
It does.
That's exactly what it sort of tastes like.
There you go.
A 0 then?
Okay. Well, I scored it higher then. 0 for both? Or just the bacon?
0 for bacon, maybe like a 1 for this. But like if it were just comparing it to like meats, like if I say, like a nice kangaroo steak, which of course you can do better, is like my mark for 5, like out of like tasty meats. I think that's very tasty. Then maybe we would put this down to like a 2, and then we could put the bacon at like a 1.
Yeah.
Or maybe even be a bit higher, because I'm sure you could do worse. You could have awful meats.
Yes.
And be like, this is disgusting, this is unedible. So maybe on that sort of terms of scale, this would be a 3 and a bacon would be a 2.
Well, there you go. Oh well, if anyone's tried this themselves, I feel sorry for you. But if you actually like it, just let us know. Just let us know in any place you find us. But yeah, thanks again. We'll catch you next time.